we went to a bookstore and I wanted to show you guys the books that I got, which I'm very excited about. I'm not gonna lie. I got 3 books. And okay, here's the deal. Okay, so the first one that I got is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. And I'm sure most of you are all very accustomed to this book. For those of you that are not familiar with this book, it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai. It has gangsters, and that's all I know. But yeah, I'm very excited about this book because I just want to know what the hype is about, you know. I want to see if it's worth it. Anyway, I got 2 more books, and when I say I'm excited, I mean I am beyond excited. I have been trying to get my hands on those books for ages now. So, if you can see, no you cannot see, but up there, right there is my TBR shelf. There's a book sitting on that shelf, and that is The Popular by R.F. Kuang. That is another book that is very much known in the book community, and I have been wanting to read it for forever. However, I just know that if I read it, I will definitely want to read book 2 and 3, but I don't have them. Correction, I didn't have them until today when I found them in this bookstore. So I got The Dragon Republic. I'm so excited for this books, I swear to God. And The Burning God. So I have successfully completed the entire collection of The Popular. That's crazy. Plus, this is a new book. Like, we went to a bookstore that's mostly used. However, this is a new book, but it's a little bit damaged, if you can see that. But I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. However, it was like literally like 50% off because it was like damaged right here, and I'm like, I don't care. It's 50% off. It was like fate. It was like fate brought me to The Burning God. I just know that I will love this trilogy so much. I will devour it. I will cry. It will be my downfall. I will become intolerable. I will become something else that you all will hate very, very much. That's gonna be all R.F. Kuang's doing. That's all I had to say. Those are all the books that I acquired today. I'm very excited. I'm very happy with my purchases. Might have gone a little bit maniac, you know. May have become a little bit of a maniac, but I blame it all on the fact that I couldn't drink my coffee today. For now, that's all I have. We need to talk about this book. We need to talk about what was the name of this? The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I am I am 10% into this book right now. And oh my god, I am enjoying it so much. It has vampires. It has a savage girl. Her name is Oraya. She reminds me a lot of Jute from The Cruel Prince. She's like very snappy, savage, but like a little bit like there's a little bit of sweetness of like, you know what I mean? Like she pretends to be all tough and but inside she's like afraid, if you know what I mean. However, the thing that I like most about this book is the writing style, because it's so beautiful. Like it's just very, it's a very lyrical story, and there are a lot of quotes they just highlight because I'm like mesmerized by the writing itself. And I'm just very much enjoying how carissa, obviously I forgot the surname of the other, but how the other writes this book, because it's just the perfect amount of like action and also like storytelling, and just also I like very much enjoy this concept of vampires and this. See, that's why I think this girl reminds me a lot about Jude, because if you don't want to know anything about this book, you can just like skip this part. However, it's just literally at the beginning, so it's not a spoiler. However, there's a girl in this book, and she's human, and she is basically taken into the world of the vampires, and she has to like survive. So even though they are much stronger than her, and obviously like they really want to eat her. That's why she reminds me a lot of Jude, because Jude was, if you haven't read The Cruel Prince, she was also a human amongst fae, and like fae, like vampires, they're like cruel. They are usually driven by not human instincts. I don't know, I just really like how the author writes the characters, and I really like the relationship between Oraya and Vincent as well, because I think that's just like reminds me a lot about Jude and Maddox as well. I don't know, maybe it's because I read like the Wicked King like 3 weeks ago, but I just cannot seem to catch the connections. But I think like if you enjoyed The Cruel Prince, I mean, I cannot say for sure yet because there's no romance here yet. I don't know if there will be. However, there's no romance here yet. But I am like 10% into it. But if you enjoyed The Cruel Prince, I feel like you will enjoy this book, because it's just so... I feel like the writing style is also kind of... I actually... It's hard to say, but I think I like the writing style of this more than The Cruel Prince. But yeah, I am very much enjoying this book, and this world, okay, this world is also very like complex. Like there's a goddess, there's not only like vampires and that's it, there's a goddess, there's magic, there's like a lot of things apart from like vampires themselves, and I think that's so fun and so interesting. And I love like little rituals and like little magics, and I think magic and like I think, I'm not sure yet, but I think like humans can use magic as well. They're just like not powerful. However, it's not like they are completely magicless. I feel like they have the ability to use magic, it's just that they don't do it well. Like vampires are basically the main the magical creatures that can use magic as well. It's so, I don't know, I like it. It's interesting, it's very interesting, and I will keep reading and I will update you once I've read some more. But I am very excited. I am loving this book so much. and good morning. I have come to you to officially wrap up this vlog and talk to you about the book that I have finished, which is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. There we go. Finally, I remembered. I finished this book, I loved it, and somehow, yet, it's really hard for me to remember who wrote it. But here's the deal. I finished the book. I finished it last night. I'm very, first of all, I would just like to say that I'm very sorry for not giving you guys more updates, but I was just like very immersed in the story. I also didn't have a lot of time to just like sit down and talk to you guys about it. But nevertheless, I would like to say that I loved this book so much. In the end, I gave it 4.75 stars on Goodreads. I recognize that listen, this book isn't without its flaws. Like, it's not perfect, which is why I couldn't give it 5 stars. But the enjoyment that I felt while reading this book, and also like how much I just connected with it for some reason. I just feel like it was the perfect time for me to read this book. It was just the perfect amount of action. It was actually like very fast paced. A lot of things happen in this book. It was just a wild ride and I absolutely loved it. I still think that Oriah reminds me of Jude. However, I would like to say that like that connection between those two characters kind of faded a little bit. The more I got to know Oriah, the more I realized that she's a completely different person than Jude, and like there are similarities between them. However, they're also very much different. Remember when I said that there's no romance in this book? Boy, was I wrong. The romance in this book, I have to say, it's one of my favorite like dynamics like ever. I loved it so much. It was so well crafted. It was just like so, oh my god, it was like it was absolutely amazing. If you like the forced proximity trope, you will enjoy this book. If you like enemies to lovers kind of vibe, you will enjoy this book. It wasn't a very like deep read. It was just like, you know, pure enjoyment, but it was like so good. It was like so good. So if you're looking for a book that's like that will just like immediately grasp you from the first page, and it will like throw you into this new world full of vampires and magic and death and betrayals and secrets and love and like, I don't know, it was so good. Plus, I said it before and I will say it again, Carissa Broadbent's writing is beyond me. She writes so beautifully, so lyrically. Her way of wording, her sentences just like hit the right spots. I have so many notes from this book. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. It was truly top tier. That was the only book that I actually finished and actually read during this week. I didn't read anything else because I was studying and like working on other things. But the more I think about it, the more I love it. Yesterday, I finished it last night. I was bawling. That ending, the thing that also very much struck me was how well thought and how well like executed this book was. The characters were really well crafted as well. Like you could just like love them. They weren't plain at all. They had so many layers, so many fears and backstories and trauma, and it was so good. And there were times when I cringed like a little bit. There was a little bit of cringe, but I'm willing to look past that for the sake of, you know, everything else, because this book, you guys, it was so good. I really want to go and purchase the second part. I really want to go and purchase book 2 right now, but I have other things to read, but I really, really want to. Because it was so good. The tension. The... forced proximity. Like I said, it wasn't perfect, but for me, I connected with those characters very, very much. I feel like I haven't read the entire series of A Court of Thorns and Roses, but I feel like I read the first book, but I feel like it also holds a certain vibe like that, but better. Much better. It was so good. It was so good, and the world building as well, top tier. Top tier. That's all I had to say. I very, very, very much enjoyed this book. Please give it a try. Like this, I'm on my knees for Carissa Broadbent and her writing. So yeah, that's all I had to say to you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you very, very soon. 안녕.